Hello, CUSD. I hope you're all doing well. We're going to talk about printing answer sheets and actually scoring those answer sheets using your School City account. And the key for us today is to make sure that we don't have any errors when we do that, and we work through some little tricks and tips for yourself. So let's start with the basics. Let's start by getting into our School City account, which will start with going into your clever icon. Once you hit your clever icon, your page may look just a little bit different than mine, but you'll look for your School City icon, whichever one there is, or where yours is at. So you'll click on that. It'll give you this fancy thing right there. And then once you get to your actual School City account, your page will obviously be based on what you've set on your page. So yours will look a little bit different than mine, but the key is just find your assessments tab or flip grid. You can also go to the waffle cone up here and click on that, and you can hit assessments. You can go either way; it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go through my flip grid, which is manage assessments. The one thing I want to make sure that I'm on, because that'll be a problem for you, is make sure you're on the district tab. That's a key. So once you're on the district tab, the important part is to find your assessment. So the way you do that, and we do have some YouTube videos posted on our Chandler Unified Assessment YouTube channel, so you can take a look at those. But let's look at the basics here. I'm going to go to the collections. So I have several collections. You may have fewer than I do, but it's going to be pretty close. I would click off those assessments and those collections, and I would look for the one I need, which in our particular case is going to be ELA. So I'm going to click on ELA, and then I'm going to refresh. Once I do that, my ELA finals are here. So the first step for me before I even gave this final was to print my answer documents. One thing I want to make sure that you do when you print your answer documents, and I'm just going to review this because I want to make sure that you do this and not create more work for yourself. You're going to look at selecting what class that you want to print. So for me, the high schools are listed here. For you, it'll be your sections and your periods. So what you want to do is select the period that you want to print. Once you select that, you then go down to print answer sheets. That's the one you want to select. If you print generic answer sheets, it's just going to print blank ones, and then you'll have to have each student fill in the proper identification information. You don't want to do that. Just print this, and it'll automatically print individualized answer sheets for you. So going back to the actual assessment, I just wanted to show you that to make sure that you had done that prior to giving your assessment. So going back to my sheet, I'm on the district tab. I'm still on my assessments. Our example is ELA 9. So I now have a group of students that have taken the assessment, and I want to grade those online. They bubbled in their answers, and I didn't give it to them online, which you utilize. That's an online administration where it would grade it online for you automatically. But for our particular case, we used bubble sheets. We used answer sheets. So we need to score using Gradecam. The first thing I'm going to do is access my Gradecam using the camera icon. Once I've done that, it'll pull this up, and I should see, obviously you have to have a document camera attached to your computer or Cortex. So you should see it's fairly sensitive, so I probably don't want to have one underneath there right away. But I'm going to grab my first student's answer sheet, and my goal is to make sure that it's greened up. So it greened up. You can see that very clearly that it showed up. I have my test student here, a score of 27. I'm going to go to my next student. So what that shows here, if you see this yellow, there's errors. But the first thing I'm going to do is scan the rest of my documents, and then I can go back and look at those errors. But let's take a look at the next one. Let me scan it up here. I might have to adjust my camera a little bit. It's a little bit off. Let's see here. Sorry about that. Okay, I resumed there. Sorry about that. And you'll see that I have 3 scores. Now, obviously, you're going to have more students than that in your class. But those are the 3 students that I scan. Now, I could scan, and I want to show you this. Sometimes this happens, so you teach multiple subjects. I could put this in there, and you're going to see that that's an answer sheet from another assessment, and it's going to pick up on that it's an invalid assessment. So that's a key for you, just in case you do teach multiple subjects. In these 2, I have no errors on this, but these 2 are highlighted in yellow, so I need to look at what's going on here. So I'm going to show the errors, and if you look down here, you want to hit this tab and it'll show you the errors for what your students have. So I would go to that student, and you'll see that on their sheet it shows several different errors that might have occurred. So what you want to do is go and correct those errors. So for this particular student, we see that they omitted question 4, they omitted question 7, and they omitted question 8. So we'd go back to that student's answer sheet just to confirm what exactly occurred and what exactly happened. So the key for me would be to find that student and then fix that particular issue. So I would look at that student, and I see that they did make a little bit of a dot on number 4, but they didn't bubble it in. So I would go ahead and fix that for them. And then I also see that they erased on number 8 this one, and then put a much darker circle on D. I would go ahead and fix that by taking that one off for them. So you would have to go to the bubble sheet and actually look at the bubble sheet in order to fix the error. And in some cases, you have several errors that you'll need to fix. So then I would save that, and then you look at the next student. It'll go to the next student, and they show the same type of situation where they omitted some items. In number 10, they omitted B, which they bubbled in, but they just didn't bubble in dark enough. This one they had omitted 11, they omitted B also, and this one they omitted C. So in that particular case, I would save that one. And unfortunately, it disconnected me from the internet, but that's okay. So as you can see from now, in this particular case, I have all of my errors fixed. There are no more errors to show, so I can now upload my results. It's very important that you upload your results to get those results. Once you upload the results, they are housed in School City, and it's a data area that you can look at. So one thing I want to warn you on is please don't throw away your answer sheets until you know that that information has been uploaded into School City. That is a very important piece of the puzzle. So having said that, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the assessment department. We'll be happy to answer those. But that is how you score with Gradecam.